everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Indie Film Cafes,
Oh, it's so exciting.
a haul, video, that monthly haul video that we do. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here with my co-host.
Presenza, otherwise known as the Moo Cow, who literally just rolled out of bed.
Uh, we're doing this a little earlier than we normally do, so we got everybody sort of a little, and John Ward, our other special guest here. How you doing, John?
I'm good. How are you?
It's even
For me,
earlier.
it's 9 a.m. for me.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm saying it's even
Eek.
earlier for you. On a Sunday, I'm guessing this starts your day and then you can go off and do whatever else you want to do, or you can just go back to sleep. Either way.
I'm normally up by like 7 a.m. anyways to go to work. So, or the cats will wake me up.
Yeah.
So it's not really new to me, but
I'll be okay because I got me an apple fritter. Nom nom
Nice,
nom.
nice.
num 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 num.
All right, so we're gonna be here talking about our hauls that we do. We do 5 Blu-rays that we share, and we go around and we share each person shares their 5 Blu-rays. Then we do one round of 10 DVDs, and then another round of 10 DVDs. Those are for those people who have never seen this show before or forgot, how we do this. So it's not very confusing. I'll start, then Paul, then John, and that'll be the schedule. So I'll start off with I've got a thing I do now, like a certain amount that I get of things. So I've got these. Wait, that's not right. That's one extra. So I've got 5 Blu-rays, and none of them are 4K. So starting with Shop Around the Corner, movie I just rewatched and did a review of, and really enjoyed rewatching it. It was really fun.
What if I don't want to shop around the corner? What if I just want to shop right in front
Oh,
of me?
I'm sorry. I should say the shop around the corner.
Oh,
Not
okay,
to
gotcha.
for you to shop around the
Never heard of it. Who's in it?
Margaret Sullivan and James Stewart.
Isn't You've Got Mail a remake of that?
Yeah, it's a remake of it in a way,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
but it's in a way. It's not the same exact story, but it's close enough. I think it's based on a play or something. No, I don't know, but it's also got the wizard from Wizard of Oz, and it's got
I never do this, but my cat wants to look out the window, and he's never done this before.
Sean
So,
Ward. How
I know.
dare you?
I
Very
know.
hypocritical of you, sir.
There we go. Just
Oh my goodness. Well, you're hopefully going to be the only one who does this.
Better hide that nude poster of Tom Cruise.
that's over there. That's out of camera.
But anyway, this
Camera.
is a great movie to rewatch. It was a lot of fun. So next is another movie I did a review of and watched, and I did this for horror film lovers, and that's Homicidal. The William Castle Psycho
Yeah.
Psycho ripoff. I really enjoyed it. I thought that was a great movie compared to what I thought. I thought it was just going to be a ripoff of Psycho, and I was whatever. I got really into it. I thought, wow, this is actually really well
It
done.
was kind of
And
low budget, but it was all right.
An Indicator has a great commentary by author and film historian Lee Gambin, who fortunately has passed away. But like he does he's detailed, in his commentary, talking about basically every scene down to the thing. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. So if you haven't seen Homicidal, I recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
That's all right.
Then another movie I did a review of with Rebecca Reinhardt, and that's already out, is Warlock. I did the first one. I did not do this. I haven't watched the second or third yet. I've heard the third basically barely has anything to do with the.
Did they
it's a
ever
different Warlock.
find Julian Sands?
Yeah, they found him.
What
Yeah,
happened?
yeah.
Is he alive
He-
or dead or what?
He's dead.
He died. He,
Yeah.
he
Oh, shit,
fell
what
off of a
happened?
mountain.
Oh man.
Yeah, sad.
Yeah, he went hiking by himself and
Ugh.
fell
Yeah,
off
you
a
don't do
mountain
that in
and
California.
died.
That's so sad. Yeah, it's such a sad thing. Rest in peace, Julian.
And Warlock 2 I liked better than Warlock.
I've heard Warlock 2 is a lot more fun.
Is that the Mario Van Peebles one?
What?
That would be why John likes it. Yeah.
No, it's from what's his face, the director who did like Hellraiser 3.
Yeah.
He did Waxwork. or Waxworks.
Well,
Yeah, he was like a big thing for a little bit in horror.
Rebecca had never seen Warlock, right? The first one or
Huh.
whatever. I was kind of surprised. But she, when we were reviewing it, she said she got really excited when she saw it was directed by Steve Miner, the guy who did like Friday the 13th Part 2 and 3 and stuff. And
Oh, we know
uh
she loves that.
well, she loves Part 2. That's like her favorite Friday the 13th movie or
Hmm.
That's
whatever.
my
So
favorite Friday the 13th is part
yeah.
two.
So we were talking about this and she was just going on and on about gushing about how that, but she didn't like the movie. Like it wasn't her cup of tea kind of thing. But
It's Terminator. It's very Terminator-ish.
yeah, I guess yeah, I guess I could see that. Like that would be the yeah, I kind of thought of it like Masters of the Universe where there's a portal and it goes into our current time at that time or whatever, and they have to deal with kind of being a fish out of water scenario kind of
And
thing.
it's
So I don't
kind
know.
of cheesy. It's like Cheesinator.
Yeah, Cheeseinator. Yeah, I agree. Next is a movie I did for horror film lovers. First time watch Fridays a while back, but I had to buy the Blu-ray of it from Synapse, and that is Satan's Little Helper.
Oh yeah, classic.
I liked it as I remember liking it and thinking it was a lot more fun than I expected it to be. So I do like that it's got the audio commentary with the director, vintage behind the scenes feature, things like that. So
Nothing like a
kind of
creepy
good.
little kid movie.
Yep, exactly. And then next is or last is the MVD movie I got, The Chocolate War, starring
Ah, Keith Gordon.
well, directed by Keith Gordon and
Yeah.
starring John Glover, Elin Mitchell Smith, who was in Weird Science, Wally Ward, Doug Hitchison, Jenny Wright, and special appearance by Bud Cort.
Huh,
So
yeah, heard of it, never saw it.
I remember renting it from the video store back in the day and actually really liking the music and stuff in the 80s.
You really need to see, and I've said this many times, you really need to see Waking the Dead.
I'll have to check that out sometime.
I
When I
saw it at
buy it.
Sundance, and Keith Gordon was there. He was talking about it. So
I met Keith Gordon at Texas Frightmare once, and all I could talk about was the singing detective, to him, and stuff. He worked with like Robert Downey Jr. and Katie Holmes together, so I thought that was pretty cool. All right, so it is Paul's turn.
Oh, so first five or my five Blu-rays, right?
Oh,
All right. Well, first one, Mr. Moody should be familiar with since he picked it up for me, and it is Abel Ferrara's The Addiction.
ah,
Really good film with Lily Taylor, Christopher Walken, Annabella Sciorra.
yeah,
Um,
that was during their Arrow sale at Barnes and
mhm.
Noble, and unfortunately, Paul's Barnes and Noble doesn't get a lot of the great stuff or
No.
whatever that So,
And I've
um,
always liked this. It's a very interesting, nuanced take on vampires and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool.
but my Barnes and Nobles gets a lot of great stuff, and they are very happy and excited when when you're out there getting this stuff or whatever. They love us picking this, picking that,
Yay.
those things up. So there you go.
Next, which looks like it's supposed to be kind of it's kind of a stinker, but it's also like a horror comedy, like a black comedy. And it is a Shutter exclusive, and it is Prevenge.
I've heard of that.
got the yeah
Heard it was
the
good.
that was a Dollar Tree
Nice, 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 nice.
Shutter.
And then the next one I mentioned to Mr. Moody before getting because I couldn't wait to get my hands on the Blu-ray. Finally, after all this time, my favorite Charles Band movie, Head of
Ah,
the Family.
Is that a DVD or a Blu-ray?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
Pretty
it's
awesome.
different than my Blu-ray of it, but it's okay.
Very nice. Then another classic. This is actually a Criterion classic, and I don't know if Mr. Moody has this one or not, but Last Picture Show.
that's a good one.
I do have it. It's in a collection of the ones. It's got like Easy Rider Head and
Head,
all that
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, so I've got the collection like that, and Last Picture Show is in that collection or whatever. And I remember watching that for the first time like a few years ago
Great film.
when I bought the thing, and I was loving it.
Ah, Sybil Shepherd, so beautiful in that film.
And
Yeah.
we Paul John Ward and I reviewed Head. for
That's right.
Great
The
Hunt.
Monkeys movie head.
Movies.
Last one is a movie that I'm going to be sticking on Forgotten Horror Classics because it is excellent and it really flew under the radar. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. And it's called The Eyes of My Mother.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
I've heard of
And
it.
it's fairly intense. It's a really good film.
And you said it's going to be for Forgotten Horror Classics?
Yep.
Okay, awesome.
Because this was it 2016? And a
Yeah.
lot of people I know never heard of it.
Joe Lynn and I have joked around that that Paul picks movies that don't sound like they're classics because they're so new, but they
Well,
should be classics. They'll be
yeah, the
classics
movies
at
that
some
I
point.
feel are going to be classics because they're
Yeah,
so good.
yeah. We just did one. We did the season finale, which should be out in in March, like
Hmm.
late March. So, yeah. All right.
That's my five.
That's your five. All right. So John Ward.
All right, my first one here, I just got in. I now own all of his movies, including films that he has written and acted in. I rarely go to the movies anymore. I do plan on going more, but I the other day went to go see The Monkey, and I love Oz Perkins. I think he is awesome.
Yeah.
And so I finally was able to get Long Legs,
Yay.
so which
Yay.
I've yeah,
That-
so I still think The Black Coat's Daughter is his best film. I really like that.
Good movie.
But yeah, love Longlegs and I loved The Monkey. If you go see The Monkey, stay to the very end because there's a teaser trailer for his next film, which I think comes out in like October or something called Keeper. That looks pretty good.
Nice. I haven't
So
seen The Monkey.
God, man, he is busy. Like he
yeah,
literally just released Long Legs like 6 months ago or something,
Good for
or
him.
even or whatever. And then he did Long Legs 6 months ago. Now he's doing the Monkey, and then he's doing that. Like, I mean, dude,
That's
keep
great.
it up, man.
well, yeah, and he's also a writer, so he writes screenplays for other people, and then he stars in a lot of them too. Like he has a cameo in The Monkey. So,
Does he play the
and
monkey?
no, he looks like his dad. The older he
Really?
gets, the more he looks like Anthony
Anthony Perkins,
Perkins.
Wow.
nice.
Yeah,
Speaking of
so
Psycho,
I guess there are worse people to look like, that's for sure.
yeah.
if they ever
Um,
did he probably wouldn't want to, but if they ever did a remake or a sequel to
Yeah, they've done
Psycho.
that though. That's it.
I know, but I feel like that was a real big letdown. And so if they wanted to redo it, I think Oz would be the perfect person to sort of think about how it would be, But then again, he probably doesn't want to. He doesn't want to.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought the the ones with Anthony Perkins, like Psycho 2 and Psycho 3, those are actually pretty good, surprisingly.
yeah,
He directed one of them or something or so,
He
part
did.
three.
or three.
That's where I met him was at Fangoria convention. He was promoting Psycho 3, but he wasn't signing autographs. Well, I was having none of that, and I had a Psycho 3 poster with me. And as he took the elevator downstairs, I
Ah,
took the fire stairs and raced him down and beat him to the exit, and then just went, "Mr. Perkins, will you please sign my poster?" And he did. So.
Nice.
oh,
My next one is what I think is one of the greatest science fiction films ever made, and it is the only film directed by L.Q. Jones, and that is A Boy and His Dog.
Oh God, yeah, that's a weird movie.
is
I
that a What the Fuck Friday
That's a
type
What the
thing?
Fuck Friday.
Okay.
It is a great film. It's Don Johnson's first movie. He's got this talking dog that's really awesome. It's end of the world type of stuff.
Hmm.
Very sexual because
Oh
that's
yeah,
but it is great. I love this movie, and I'm surprised it took me this long to get. So
I didn't know it was out in Blu-ray.
yeah, this is a smaller company. I think that there's actually a bigger company that's released it with more special features, but it's expensive. Like Long Legs was like $30, but I that it took me so long to get because I had to wait till it went down to at least 20. And then, with Monkey coming out, it was like, no, I just need it. I just want to get it. So uh next one is it's Matthew Vaughn. I've never seen it, but I've heard it's great, which is Layer Cake.
Layer cake. I heard of it. Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the film that got Daniel Craig, James Bond.
Ah. Okay, I'll have to check that out at some
So,
point.
but of course, Matthew Vaughn, he did some of the X-Men movies and the Kingsman and stuff like that. So,
So I'm
Hmm.
guessing it's not about baking.
no, it's not. It doesn't have an ad line. It just says two thumbs up from Ebert and Roper.
Ebert and Roper. Damn, that's newer. Yeah.
Um, and then to go along with my Exodus and what was the other? Yeah, Exodus and then Noah, I decided to pick up the remake of Ben-Hur,
Hmm.
which I've
Well,
heard is awful.
that's what I heard too.
Yeah, so
All
but I
CGI shit.
but I figured what the hell? Why not? And then my last one is I love this director and I love this film, and I know some people have criticized it, but I think it's a great film, and that's Doomsday.
I never saw it.
Never saw it either.
It's
Oh.
Clint Marshall, the guy who did Where'd Jonathan Go?
Hold on a second.
He's having a doomsday moment.
I don't know what happened exactly, but can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah. He's the guy who did like Dog Soldiers. He
Hmm.
also did The Descent, Centurion. He's a great director. He is a really, really good director. So, all right, so that's my five for Blu-ray.
All right. Let's
DVDs.
DVDs. All right, so this first one I've
DVDs.
already sort of showed John. I was that I was watching. Did not tell him I got it or whatever, but and he said nice things about it, which is the movie Lakeview Terrace, starring Samuel Jackson and
It's a good film.
Samuel Jackson. It's got Patrick Wilson, Kerry Washington, and Jay Hernandez. Um, it's a lot better than I expected. I actually thought it was going to be just okay, but it was good. It was good.
It's
Like
kind
it.
of a dot 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 from hell movie, the cop from hell. And it's the
Yeah.
the interracial couple that gets terrorized by the black cop who feels that, there should not be interracial couples.
Like he never fully says it, so but there's implications, yes, that he like, but he never full out says that, that he doesn't like interracial couples or anything like that. There's just a lot of really uh just and he gets really disturbing the more, up until like the finale, and I'm just like, man, this gets pretty bad. I was liking it. But it's gonna be part of I think it's gonna be part of Forgotten Horror or Forgotten Hollywood's Forgotten Hits, one of my shows that I'm doing. Because it's a movie that nobody talks about anymore, So all right. Next is Bridget Jones's Baby, which is part of the Bridget Jones saga.
Is
The
that like
newest
part
one.
three or something?
I think it's part three because I think they made four. I think this is the last one before their newest one
Yeah,
that's on
Edge of
Peacock.
Reason is part two, I think.
Yeah, Edge of Reason is part two,
Was
and then
it
this one.
cute?
I haven't seen it,
Oh,
so I don't know yet. I need to rewatch all of them or something at some point. I think they're on like HBO and Peacock.
aren't too many movies that have the word baby in its title that I have interest in, other than it's got Rosemary in front of it.
All
How
right.
about Driver in the title?
Hmm.
Okay.
Baby
Anyway,
Baby Driver. The
Baby
the
Driver. Well,
yeah,
I
it's a
don't know
great
if
film.
Paul even likes that movie, but all
I
right.
don't know it.
All right. So next is a three. Well, it's supposed to be a five one, but I got this all of these were at the library, by the way. All 20 of these movies I got at the public library. And they scratched out two of them, so I only got three out of the five, but it's fine. Whatever. And it's Here Comes the Boom, Joe Dirt 2, and Pixels. Which
Joe
I'm
Dirt
in
2.
Boom. I'm in Boom.
you're in Here Comes the Boom?
Yeah, I am I'm an extra. So if you watch it, I'm one of the people that is going into the MGM Grand. So when there's it's a wide long shot and you see all these people going up the escalator. I'm in that crowd. I'm
Did
one of
you
those
did you
people.
watch it? Did you watch for yourself to see if you could
I
see
did.
yourself?
Yeah. It's
Could you?
not a bad movie.
I mean,
It's
could you
it's
see yourself?
no, no, not at all.
Oh, that's a bummer. All right. Another movie I have in my collection somewhere, but I bought it anyway because I'm gonna be doing it for Hollywood Knockbusters at some point. And so instead of just searching through all my movies, and Paul knows how many movies I have, I decided to just buy it for $1, and everything is out cold. It's not a movie that John you'll want to watch because it's gonna remind you a lot of Grind, you know.
Oh
It's
God.
yeah. But it does have Zach Galifianakis in it, so that's before he was Zach Galifianakis.
I was gonna say that could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, it was before he was that, but he was funny. I liked him
I
in that.
like him. He's always interesting.
Yeah, he plays like these goofballs. Um, all right, and then I don't know what the fuck this is because it says it's a documentary, and it is weird as looking as fuck, but it's called Thrive.
Huh.
And it says Thrive is an unconventional documentary that lifts the veil on what's really going on in our world by following the money upstream, uncovering the global consolidation of power in nearly every aspect of our lives.
So
Sounds
it's one of those wacky conspiracy theory type
yeah.
things.
They say like weaving through breakthroughs in science, consciousness, and activism, Thrive offers real solutions, empowering us with unprecedented and bold strategies for reclaiming our lives and our future.
Does it say who made it?
So it's a Clear Compass media production. The directors are Stephen Gagney and Kimberly Carter Gamble. I don't know those
That
people.
that cover really does look like a horror movie.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I thought at first. I was like, oh, this looks like a horror film. And then I read the back and I was like, this is not a horror film. This might be a horror film about our world, but yeah, like if you look at it, it says like follow the money and it's got the the what is it, the pyramid with the eye in it and
Oh
everything.
God, here we
So
go. The
yeah,
Illuminati.
the Illuminati and shit. I don't know. I'm just like I kind of want to see it just to see what they're trying to sell people on, or whatever. Then I got this movie. I don't know if I have it in my collection or not, but I figured buying it anyway. It's Merry Friggin' Christmas, starring Robin Williams and or it's got Robin Williams, Joel McHale. I know you like
Oh
Joel
my,
McHale.
Yeah, I
oh
Um,
love
God,
Joel.
I can't stand Joe McHale.
I love him. He's one of my
Paul
favorites.
Paul
Apparently,
loves
so does
him.
Jonathan because he gave it a thumbs up.
I did not mean to do that. It's somehow or another did it. Whatever. Anyway, Clark Duke, Lauren Graham, Oliver Platt,
It's like a
Candice
boner that comes out of
Bergen,
nowhere.
Candice Bergen. I don't know. Got a cast. This movie stars Bryan Cranston and Jennifer Garner. It's a movie called Wakefield.
Oh yeah,
Don't know much about
I
that,
vaguely
but
remember that one.
we have a Wakefield in Virginia, so I thought, oh, is that what it's about? No, it's some guy named Wakefield or whatever. Then there's a two film collection, Black Mass and Blow. I don't
That's a good
have
collection.
I don't have Black Mass. I only have Blow. That sounds really bad, but that's the
You
truth.
have a Black Mass of Blow.
I got both. Yeah, I guess
They're both
whatever.
good movies.
I liked Blow. I've never seen Black Mass, so I'm definitely interested. And then this one stars Anna Sophia Robb, Famke Janssen, um, Scott Cohen, Israel Prasad, and Taylor Richardson. It's called Jack of the Red Hearts. I don't know. It looks like some indie movie with some people. I don't know. It looks okay. Um, and last but not least is a Jude Law movie called Alfie. I think this is a remake of
Oh yeah.
some
Of the Michael Caine movie.
of the
Yeah.
Michael Caine movie. So I'm I'm interested in seeing that. Paul, you're up. That was my
He's
first
not a
attempt.
bad guy to do the remake with, Jude Law. I mean,
Yeah, I
he's
like Jude Law.
I
yeah,
think he's incredibly
from the
talented.
trailer, it kind of matches the original.
All right, so as some of you guys know, I usually try to divide these into good movies and stinky movies. Um, so I'm going to go with the good movies first, or relatively good movies.
Relatively.
Relatively. So the first one is a classic, and it's the Mark of Satan. It's actually pretty good Mexican horror movie back when they were actually making pretty decent movies and horror movies in Mexico. So I
Nice.
got a copy of that. Next, we have a classic. Man for All Seasons, which I've always liked. I
Yep,
never
yep.
had it on DVD, so I thought
It's a
since
good
I
one.
saw it, I grabbed it. Um, Another movie I liked when it came out, never had, but I saw it, so I grabbed it, and that's Dead Presidents.
Dead Presidents. I remember that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, yeah. Good soundtrack, Danny Elfman.
Um, Next is a Fay Ray collection of a couple of movies that I liked, and I have both of them separately but not together. And it is Vampire Bat and Most Dangerous Game,
Mm,
Nice.
both classic
two good ones.
early horror films, and it was like a
Wait,
buck. So,
Vampire Bat. That wasn't Bela Lugosi, was it?
No,
uh,
Bela Lugosi is
yeah,
Devil Bat.
right,
Devil Bat. Okay.
right. And again, yet another classic Mexican horror film that's actually really good. This is the original Curse of the Crying Woman.
Oh,
Yeah, you were talking about that the other day, right? Like
Hmm.
that we were talking about La Llorona, you know. So
Raphael Balladon. He's the really good version. Um, the next, I don't know. Some people are going to think it's a stinker. Some people are not. It's definitely a controversial film, and I don't know. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's called Dead Butterfly.
yes. I bought that from SRS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never
What did you
seen it,
think?
but
Oh,
I haven't seen it. Is that the one that has like three movies on it?
yeah. It's like a torture porn sort of thing, and
what are the other movies on it?
um,
I think it's like parts one, two,
yeah,
and
they're
three.
different parts of the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. Um, Next is the remake of a movie that we did on Forgotten Horror Classics. We did V, which is a classic Russian film, and then they redid it again in Russia, and they called it The Forbidden Empire. So this will probably also pop up on Forgotten Horror Classics because
The
Jolyn really
R?
liked it. Ah, yeah,
Okay.
it's hard to explain,
Looks like a
but
fantasy, but
yeah,
I
no,
would think like Forbidden Empire would be a fantasy.
they're redoing the V myth by having this guy go into Transylvania to map it, and then he runs into all these horror things that are in the first V movie. So it's interesting.
Nice.
Um, so then we have another Criterion film. This one is called Marketa Lazarova, and it's known as a really, really good Czech horror film. And I hadn't ever seen it before, but heard a lot of great things about it. So it was cheap, so I bought it. uh, Next couple of ones are probably also going to be on Forgotten Horror Classics. This one is also another one that some people really like and some people don't, but I've heard good things. Skinamarink.
Ah, yeah, some people really hate that movie, but I know one of the actresses from it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I
It's one of those films where the camera looks at the door for 20 minutes and it just makes noise.
all
That's
right.
it.
So it's
As
a
you do.
slow burn.
It's not a slow burn. It's just literally the camera looking at the door with some weird humming. That's
Because you're supposed to be
so.
in the person's eyes, witnessing it, etc. But and then the next one is another classic, and this from my buddy Ben Wheatley. Remember, I showed you a couple movies from him, and this is In the Earth.
I don't remember Ben Wheatley.
He
What?
was in that Forgotten Hard Classics movie that we did about the two hitmen,
Oh,
and then they go to that one guy's place, and they witness the woman getting killed, and
and then they're kind of like set. Yeah,
they were set up.
yeah,
Yeah,
set up. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember that movie.
Ben Wheatley's he's good. He's good, really good director.
That's right. Okay, so now I know the name. Like now that I'm thinking about it. All right, cool. Is that your 10?
That's my
First 10?
first 10.
All right. So, John, your first 10.
All right. So you are going to find that I am getting away from micro budget independent movies because I think they kind of suck. And thanks to some interactions on Facebook recently and me not supporting these things, I will most likely be buying more Hollywood big budget produced
I mean,
films
I
or
see you like supporting like Joe Lujan and
oh yeah, Joe Luan, Drew
you know,
Marvick, the Mahal brothers, all those people, sure. But I will not be supporting films that are made in somebody's backyard. So so first so these are all from either Goodwill or Zia Records. And some of these have been sitting in this stack for a couple months, because it's just one of those things where I bought a whole bunch of movies and then they just, we stopped doing stuff for a while. So a whole stack just kind of sat there
I
because
got
I
a
knew if
backup
I,
too.
yeah, if I filed them, I would never know what to pull. So they just had to sit there. But this is a new one. I'm a huge James Spader fan, like massive James Spader fan. And so I picked up the first season of Blacklist, and this
Okay.
is a great show. This is one of those shows where you finish an episode and then you want to go to the next one, and then you finish that and you want to go to the next one. He's got a Hannibal Lecter feel about him. It's kind of like a whole Clarice Hannibal Lecter with him and the lead actress, but it's really good, and it's on Netflix. It's 10 freaking seasons and they're all like 22 episodes. So I have no idea how long this is going to take to watch, but I'm really enjoying it. So
Yeah,
I had,
to me, that's more of the journey, it's not the destination to me. Like it's the journey of going and watching these and I did that with Melrose Place. It took a long time for me to watch all, I think, 6 or 7 seasons of Melrose Place, that are like some of them are over 20, like or like 30 episodes long, and stuff because it was a primetime soap. You know what I mean? So like
right.
it took a while, but I was so excited. I was into them. But then I'll take a break for a little bit, watch other things, go back, finish
Yeah,
what
it's a
I
shame
could.
they don't make TV series with that many episodes anymore.
Because it's streaming.
You're
Because it's
you're not,
streaming.
but you could still do it with streaming, I think,
No, you could, but they don't want to. Mm,
No, and now I'm not used to it. So, I'm used to just watching a season that's 6 episodes, 8 episodes, and then you're
Yeah.
done for like 2 years until they bring out another one. So when you have something like, I had no idea Blacklist was 10 seasons. I thought it was like 3 seasons or something.
Same
And
here.
then I looked it up and I went, what the hell? And there's even a spin-off, which kind of ruined a big reveal in the first season. So the reveal hasn't happened yet, but well, actually, I think the last episode I watched did do it. But because of the spinoff, I'm like, oh, I kind of know the big reveal. So
yeah.
that kind of sucked, especially when you're watching it years later. But my next one is part of that when I went to Goodwill and I picked up like Casablanca and The Adventures of Robin Hood. This was one of them, and it's The Color Purple, Spielberg's version.
Mhm. Nice.
So yeah, so picked up that.
I forgot that
And
they remade it. I'm like, why?
They remade that.
Yeah, they
yeah,
remade the movie. I don't know why.
they
Like,
also did it as a musical, which is
Of
I
weird.
can
course.
kind of see that though, like because it's a little bit different of a format or whatever. But remaking a movie that's sort of like kind of,
So are they
it'd be
going to
like
do the
remaking
musical version of
Casablanca.
Schindler's List next? Is that the plan?
Well, but I mean, it's based on a novel, and a lot of people found it to be, imperfect.
Because
So
this is gonna sound bad, but because a white director probably did it,
I
and
was thinking that, but I wasn't going to say
I
that because
mean, I thought it was pretty meh, frankly. So
like, but but remember we had the discussion. I think we've talked about this, John, where what's the girl's name that you Elizabeth Banks
yeah.
said like publicly, oh, he's never directed a movie with a black, a black actor as the lead,
Actually,
and then
I think it was just no. It was he's never directed a movie with a woman lead,
a woman lead, woman lead.
and
That's right.
everybody yelled out the color purple.
And he
But
was
then he
like,
also did Sugarland Express with Goldie Hawn. He's made movies with female leads. What are you talking about?
yeah, that's
Because
it.
he's an
That was it.
idiot. That's why. But
Yeah.
for a little bit, is these directors got caught up in stuff where like Spielberg did Schindler's List, and everybody went, "Oh, it's not all about the Jews," and then he made Amistad. And then, of course, Jonathan Demme did Silence of the Lambs. Oh, he's a homophobe. Oh, he hates gay people, even though he's gay. And so then he made Philadelphia. So Spielberg got trapped in that.
I have
And
Philadelphia.
this is
My
what
it,
happens when you listen to people. Just make your own goddamn movies, whatever you want to do.
yeah, yeah. This one is one I sent Jonathan and I talked to him about because I've heard the new versions of it are edited by 2 minutes because they say it's transphobic. So I picked up a copy of Crocodile Dundee because the 4K version of this, like the anniversary edition, has 2 minutes missing, which Paul Hogan agreed to, where he's in drag, and I guess that there's a person in drag, and they felt that that was insensitive, so they've edited the movie.
So did they get rid of the scene where he goes up and grabs the crotch?
I think that's the scene. I think that's one of
That
yeah, that's
that's like the
that's
classic scene of that movie.
yeah, that's so he's I think he's I haven't seen the film in a long time, but yeah, I think it's he's in drag in that scene. So
And the thing is, that's so stupid because that is not an trans scene. It's indicative of his character. This is how this character thinks. You know what I mean?
right.
Well, it's
So
just the same as what they do in they cutting out certain phrases and certain things out of French Connection because they feel like it's, not okay
Yeah,
today or
that's
whatever.
bullshit.
Like,
yeah. Well, when are they going to edit like Austin Powers? That's a man, baby.
or Ace Ventura, where he gets really grossed out the fact that he made out with a woman. He starts throwing up because he made out with a man, right? And everything that looked like, that was dressed up like a woman, and
Well, they
stuff.
could probably get rid of all of his movies, and I'd be okay
Um,
with that.
Oh.
I know you don't like Jim Carrey, but whatever.
So picked up a Stephen King. Philip, OGP, and I watched this when he helped me move. The first 30 minutes of this is great. The second, or the first hour is great. The second hour is eh. And that's Desperation, the TV
I never
movie.
saw it.
This
That's
has
Stephen King, right?
yeah, it's based off of his book, Desperation. And then on the other side of the book was The Regulators, written by Richard Bachman. So you would buy them together, like they'd be wrapped together. And this has an amazing cast. Like everybody and his brother is in this thing, including a whole bunch of regular Stephen King people. So I highly recommend the first night of I keep saying different times, the first 60 minutes of this. So
Okay.
but I mean, it's got like Tom Skerritt, Steven Weber, Annabeth Gish, Charles Durning, Henry Thomas, Ron Perlman is the cop.
I
It's
miss
also
Annabeth Gish.
yeah, she's a cutie in this. She's I loved her in X-Files and stuff. So, but it's got everybody. I mean, it's what's his face, Max Headroom is in this too. So who's also been in other Stephen King movies. This is one that I only picked up because I have the other two films with Morgan Freeman. Philip watched it and turned it off. So I'm curious of watching it, and that's Alex Cross.
Yeah, I never saw any of those.
Yeah, so that's the ones with Morgan Freeman are good. But this one I don't know,
So
it bombed.
Annabeth Gish was in X-Files?
Yeah, she took over
Yeah,
for
the later
Scully.
ones where
Oh,
were yeah,
Yeah, when it was her and what's his face, the T-1000.
yeah.
wait, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one season where they had the extra folks in there doing the Mulder and Scully parts.
Yeah, David Duchovny wanted to leave. He didn't want to do the show anymore, so he got taken up by a UFO. And so he was gone. He made a couple guest appearances, and then what's her face, Scully, was still there, but for only half the amount of time. Like she would pop in from
Oh,
time to
so it's
time.
kind of like it became kind of like was a Law and Order Criminal Intent where they had like some episodes would have, one set of teams and the other set, right, or something like that.
Well,
Would they
these
do
other
like
two
that?
detectives pretty much took over the show.
Oh, took over the show.
Yeah,
Okay. Um,
They
yeah.
weren't bad, but they got a lot of shit because they weren't Mulder and Scully,
yeah, because I
which
mean,
is a shame, because they were actually pretty good.
well, I like Robert Patrick, so I would
Yeah,
probably want to see it. So, I mean,
Yeah, it wasn't horrible. I mean, you kind of knew what was going on. It was very obvious. So
I gotta rewatch X-Files. I've never watched the whole series, so I'll have to check that out.
one of my absolute favorites.
I know it is, but I like Supernatural, and it's executive produced by the X-Files people, so you know.
this is one as I think Jonathan will like this. I don't know. I think Paul will like this one.
Oh.
And that is The Wild Bunch.
Oh,
Yes,
classic.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
reviewing it at some point for Blu-ray Hunter reviews.
It's a Western. You like it?
Um, I liked it, but it's a violent Western.
Oh, so yeah, and Peckinpah.
It's
It's
not
Peckinpah,
it
yeah.
is not it is not a man who goes into a saloon and and challenges somebody to a duel. That's the kind of Westerns I fucking hate. Again, I'm tired of that. That seems to be the cliche and everything. I like this kind of stuff where they're outlaws and things. And Paul and I have been watching some Westerns occasionally. We watched that what's that one that we did for Patreon only? The shoot, I
Is
can't.
that the Bone Tomahawk one?
Yeah, Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah,
We
Oh,
did
great,
love Bone Tomahawk.
we
That
did one
director
great
for
is
Criterion Watch
amazing.
with Johnny Depp, Dead Man.
Dead
We've
Man,
done a few westerns, and
offbeat
I
Western.
do, but yeah, I like offbeat westerns. The movie we did one that was uh a a western filmed in Virginia called Judges.
That was good.
Yeah, and it was fun, and I like some westerns. I'm more so on it if they are different, you know. But
What?
I don't
Well,
like the Henry Ford. I don't like the man of whatever the man with
Man Who
no
Shot Liberty Balance,
no
or
the man
yeah,
who
that's
with
awful.
no name or whatever crap
how?
because
What? You don't
it's
like
just
the Sergio Leone films?
I don't know. They're just too much.
Sir,
People
if you're on crack, you need to go get help
No,
immediately.
but people, I mean,
Clint Eastwood.
maybe I'd be okay with it because it's the original, but everybody does it. It's all
Yeah.
done. It's too
What
much.
was the name of the one we watched that had Spike from Buffy in it, and they
Oh
had those
God,
weird
that was a horror
mechanical
one.
things in there?
I forgot what it was called. It was a man eaters one we did.
Yeah,
Um,
that was kind of a Western.
yeah, it
Oh,
was,
isn't that in the Invaders one? The
yes,
bug
high
one?
plains
Yeah, yeah,
invaders.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Tremors is kind of a Western,
I
set in the
mean,
West.
Well, one of them is part four is. Part
it's
four is takes place in the past, takes place during the
uh,
Cold War.
I get sick of and tired of certain westerns that
Oh yeah.
just get overdone and cliche. And after a while, I'm just like, I don't want to watch
I
this.
mean, I'm like that when it's just your standard boring, cowboys versus Indians
It's the
kind of
same
stuff.
thing I
It's
feel
just
with
boring.
zombies. If you can make a zombie movie that interests me, like Return of the Living Dead, which is funny and goofy and silly, as opposed Shaun of the Dead, as opposed to movies like that 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 try to be like Night of the Living Dead, where it's just a bunch of people held up in a
Spam in a
you know,
cabin.
yeah, it just gets boring to me. I don't want to watch that. I want to watch something cool and fun. There's a lot less cool and fun westerns and a lot less cool and fun uh zombie movies to me. The more people just don't know how to do anything original these days. And but The Wild Bunch is an original film. I like that. I like The Magnificent Seven, I like the kind of stuff. But, so I'm
Okay.
okay with that.
Well, I'm going to be collecting Sam Peckinpah's films, including the remake of Straw Dogs, which I really liked.
I'll
And
get you on that review for Wild Bunch.
You need
We'll
to
do
get
that.
Cross of Iron then. That's my
I
favorite.
want to get all of his because in our current climate where men cannot be men, this guy is a man. This guy made movies for men. This movie, he made movies about men. He is a man. It's just like it's these are pure man movies. And I also loved that Warren Oates was his kind of surrogate. That even in like Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia,
Yeah.
he is Sam
You
Peckinpah. He's
you
even
you
said it.
probably also need to get movies from John Milius then, because he's
That
the
I do.
same
John
thing.
Milius, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, John Milius. Oh yeah, yeah. No, he's one of my favorites. It's when I was in oh my God, what was Easter Bunny Massacre? Easter. Oh my God, I'm blinking on on the title. Part two that I was in. That my character that I played in that is John Milius.
Cool. You
So
kind of
yeah,
have a John Milius look to you,
Nice.
sir.
yeah.
When you have the full
I
beard and everything, you look
yeah.
kind of
That
like him.
documentary about him is amazing. It's
Yeah.
really
I was
unfortunate that
gonna
he.
say you should be smoking a cigar and cursing every five
I
words. So.
I'm
It
friends
is.
with
I
I'm friends with his daughter Amanda on Facebook, but I never talked to her because got nothing got nothing to talk about yet, or whatever. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I think that he's an amazing director and figure. I mean, if you if you watch the documentary, you find out that everything that he did at the very beginning while going to college with like Spielberg and all those guys was an act about him being like the gun activist and all that. And then he became it. That became him, which is why he did stuff like Red Dawn and all that, which destroyed his career. But
I do
yeah,
like Red Dawn though.
I love John Milius. And then I picked this up because I've never had it, and that would be the Hitcher, the
Nice.
original Hitcher. So always hated this poster. Like,
Yeah.
what is this connected to?
Yeah.
It's just a floating rear view mirror.
Yeah,
It
it's
just looks
stupid.
so dumb.
Yeah, you're
Um,
like way too close if you're seeing your eyes that big in the rearview mirror.
yeah, I mean, maybe he's scared because he's gonna hit the guy because he's he's
I always
looking in
thought
the
that
mirror
was a
so much.
woman, but I thought those were women's eyes. I don't know.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's Lee Thomas Howell.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then if I'm going to own the Hitcher, and I got this first, and I went, I guess I should buy the Hitcher, that would be the Hitcher 2. I've been waiting.
Uh, heard about it.
Wow.
Heard it was bad.
Wow. Talk about a movie that never needed to be made. Wow. It's a spiritual sequel where Jake Busey is playing the Rucker Hauer character, but through a spiritual way.
Oh
Right.
God.
It's very weird. Like you're supposed to think, is this him? Is this the same character? But it's almost like the spirit went from one body to another. It's very weird. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it did not need to be made.
Nope.
I think I mentioned this on our last one. I picked up the original, so I got the sequel, and that's Legend of Zorro.
Nice.
And
Is that
this is
Antonio
one,
Banderas? Is that
yeah,
so? I didn't even
Catherine
know he
Zeta
did a
Jones.
sequel. I thought he only did
Oh
the
yeah.
first, The Mask of Zorro.
No, Mask made a lot of money, so he did Legend, which is not as good, but it's still fun. And it's Martin Campbell, I think. Yeah, I directed it, so it's got a good director on it. And my last one is Jonathan completely destroyed my bubble on this one. And I was so bummed because I was so happy. But I'm glad that he did. And that's I picked up this Star Wars trilogy a long time ago on DVD and it's widescreen. And I'm like, oh shit, it doesn't say special edition anywhere. Oh, this must be the original versions before the special editions. Jonathan's like, nope, they're the special editions, even though
Which
they
so
don't say it.
which movies are they?
So it's Star Wars, Jedi, and Empire.
Oh, so it's the first three.
First
Yeah,
three,
and it
but
has a bonus disc of a whole bunch of like interviews and behind the
you
scenes. So
you can only get the non-special editions on VHS. Those are the only available ways to get it. And we have that at the studio, I believe. I believe I have like the VHSs from them. So we have that, but like no DVDs were ever made that came out that were non-special edition DVDs. So even though they don't say special edition, those are the special editions.
such a drag.
And I remember my dad has like the Blu-rays of them or whatever, and we were watching it, and he hated everything that got put back in and everything. He was like, what's that? Why did that happen? Right? Like why did they do that?" And then the worst part is the cantina scene that's just added
Yeah.
in there. My dad hates that. He thinks it's the dumbest
They're
thing
all the
ever.
only one that benefits from the special editions is Jedi because the effects kind of sucked in Jedi. That's during Lucasfilm's bad time, like when they did Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, we could literally see the blue line around everything.
Mm.
That's the only one that benefit from it. I do have burns. I downloaded them. I have Star Wars that says Star Wars. There is no A New Hope. It's gone, and none of these, it's like the closest, and I have all of those for all three films, and then I have the laser discs for all three films. That and Star Wars is Star Wars.
Bit
It's
of
Yep.
not.
bit of trivia. I do not have a single Star Wars movie in my collection. Not a
These
single one.
days it's worth it because unless you can find not the special editions, it's not worth it.
Second one's
Um,
the only one I really, really like.
I will say, speaking of my dad, I will say that you, John Ward, helped me out at one point too, because you showed me the Blade Runner special
Oh yeah.
edition and everything, where I got that for my dad for Father's Day one year because he's been complaining that all of the Blu-rays and 4Ks and all that stuff are the director's cut, which he does not like. He likes the original theatrical cut, and that's it. He does not want to do any of the director's cut or anything. And I think if we do what is it? If we do it for Film Freaks at some point, which I think is on either mine or Paul's
It's
list, we
definitely on
should
my
do the
list.
theatrical version and not the director's cut, you know.
Yeah,
That's my
that
opinion.
box set is great because I think it's
It's got
four
all of
discs
them.
or
Yeah, it's got
five
all of them.
discs. It has every version of it. That's
Yeah.
like the Apocalypse Now one
Yeah.
has like
Mhm.
3 cuts of the movie on it.
The
So
Apocalypse Now I've got on 4K. That is just fantastic. It's got
Yeah, the
all
redo.
the cuts. The Redux, they've got the whatever, all of them. They've got all the different
Yeah, and at
versions.
least as far as the Apocalypse Now one, I can understand why they cut a lot of the other stuff out because some of it was just too much and just
It's
not
another
really
one we
well,
haven't
interesting.
done for Film Freaks yet, and I'm
I
surprised.
know, I know.
I
Um,
have
but it's a
a
long movie,
burn.
so you know.
I got a
Uh,
burn of the work print
I
of
think
Apocalypse
if
Now,
we did do
Nice.
which
Apocalypse
is like
Now, we
4 hours long.
if we did do the Apocalypse Now, we would do the theatrical. We would do the we would have everybody on the Zoom because A, everybody could watch it on their own. And there's so many people I guarantee you want to talk about Apocalypse Now, want to talk about Blade Runner. Those are movies that need to be on Zoom with us, you know, and everything. But that'll be down the line.
I
Um,
remember when I was going to film school, Walter Murch was there, and he was giving like a lecture, interview, stuff like that, Q&A. And this one guy got up and said that Apocalypse Now was one of the worst edited movies he's ever seen, and he almost got stoned to death.
right. You
Walter
don't
Murch
do
is like,
that.
what are you talking about? And everybody in the audience is like, are you an idiot? And he's, oh
I think
no, it's
he's just trolling.
well, this is way before trolling. So this is we're talking like
When
30
I
years
say it's
ago,
safe
but
to surf this beach, Lieutenant, it's safe to surf this beach.
All right.
but
So,
not
John, is that
safe
it?
to serve the crowd. That's it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's my first 10.
All right. Here's my last 10. All right. A movie that I don't know if I have on DVD, but I figured pick it up for $1 anyway, and it is 8 Mile, starring Eminem. You
Okay,
know, it's a pretty
not
good,
bad. Okay.
decent movie. I liked it. It was
It's
Curtis
okay.
Hanson,
Good director. Yeah.
great director. And I liked Eminem. Eminem's actually, if he gets to play himself, it's pretty damn good, you know? Like he's good at that. So I guess a lot of it probably might have been improv, kind of thing.
It has
Um,
that. Was it Tara Manning?
Taryn Manning, yeah.
Yeah, who I know I've mentioned this to you guys a couple times. I don't like her because she's just reminds me of white trash. And hey, look what she plays in that movie, white trash.
was
She's
she? Because it was Brittany Murphy in this.
she's the one that has his kid
Right. And there's Kim Basinger who plays his mom,
who plays the
you know.
mom. Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, wow. Okay. All right. After that I got a movie that was I don't know, looked okay. Looked like a romance kind of thing. Um Starring nobody I know. I mean, nobody famous. I think is this filmed somewhere else? It's called Ashes in the Snow. It looks like it was filmed somewhere else because it's got Belle Powley, Lisa Loven Kongsley, Martin Wallstrom. I mean, this looks like, yeah,
Looks like a
directed.
Russian film.
Yeah, I think it's Russian because it's got the directors
I like the title.
Marius A. Markavicius. Vicious. I don't know. And it looks like a Russian movie, but and it's snow, so I'd imagine it might be Russia. From Russia with love. Speaking of Bond.
Well, it looked like there was a Soviet flag in the front, so
Yeah. So there you go.
Let's not
Um,
talk about James Bond.
I know you're not a big.
Hashtag RIP James Bond.
So this one stars Paul Giamatti, Amy Ryan. Bobby Cannavale, Jeffrey Tambor, Alex Schaefer,
I
and
love Amy
Melanie
Ryan.
Linsky, and that is win-win. I
Never
love
saw
Paul
it.
Giamatti.
Oh, that's not a
Yeah.
bad film. That was
I
okay.
always wonder what happened to him. He just kind of vanished.
No, he did that movie recently where he's at the school. He's the teacher. It's like during the it's like winter break or summer break.
Never
Oh
heard of it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was,
Yeah, it was nominated for some awards. Yeah.
yeah,
I think it's done by
I've
the
heard it
guys
was a
who
pretty
did
good movie.
Sideways.
Yeah. Yeah, it's done by the director of Sideways. So yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Um. Then there's a movie that's called The Boat.
Oh,
That is a good film.
Is it?
You'll hate it, Jonathan. It's a one location film. It all takes place on the boat.
I'm okay sometimes with one location as long as the story
So
is
it
interesting
looks like
enough.
a stinker, though.
it's I forget if it's a man or a woman who finds himself on the boat, and we don't know if the boat is possessed or like if it has a ghost or something, because it kind of has a mind of its own.
Ghost boat.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. But I liked it. I thought it was. I didn't, I thought it
It's
was.
also it's directed by somebody named Winston as a party, and so it does look like it's a Latina Pictures production. So maybe it's a Spanish in some way or another, or you know.
Yeah, it might be foreign. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But I thought it was. I didn't mind it. I thought it was good.
okay, okay, I'll definitely check it out at some point. I got a two feature double feature thing from Warner Brothers, Book of Eli and I Am Legend with Will Smith, you know. So, it's so funny because I'm kind of in the middle of both of you guys. Paul loves all these like, really stinky bad movies and John hates them. I like them. John hates or Paul hates the Hollywood stuff and John loves it. So I'm in the middle of you guys.
I
You
just
But
think
it,
Will
it
Smith is a
but it's
hack.
but it's funny that Paul gives it a thumbs down because Book of Eli is directed by the two guys who did Dead Presidents.
I
Yes, the
know.
Hughes brothers.
Yeah.
Um,
And I Am Legend I thought was okay because I'm now getting used to them destroying the book.
yeah.
So we'll never get the book
I
except for
just,
Last Man on Earth.
everything Will Smith touches turns to crap.
All
Well, they
right.
are doing a sequel, Paul, so you can, with Will Smith, they're going off of the alternate ending where he does survive. In the theatrical version, he dies.
Okay. So another movie I got stars Richard Burton. There's two like basically war movies that I got. It's called Bitter Victory.
I
Yes.
remember that one.
I don't
Don't know that
know
one.
much about it, but it stars Richard Burton, Kurt Jurgens, nobody else like I know. Nicholas Ray directed it. So
Hmm.
fantastic director. And then another war movie called Commando Strike at Dawn. Starring
Heard of it, never saw it.
Paul Mooney, with Annie Lee, Lillian Gish, um, Cedric Hardwick, Robert Coote, and Ray Collins, directed by John Farrow. Looks
Are
like that.
those like boutique titles? They look and sound like boutique titles.
So I
I like
guess, but it's
60s
not.
movies.
This is put out by Sony Pictures, so it's not a boutique label that put them
Okay.
out or anything. I guess it's a Columbia Pictures film from the like 19 whatever
Hmm,
19
okay.
whatever 43, So yeah. All right. I got this movie because well, it's got my name in it. So and it stars Ansel Elgort. I don't know if I'm saying his name wrong or not, but he's been in a bunch of different
That's
things,
not your
and it's
name.
called Jonathan. I don't
I wonder
know.
if that Jonathan is Moody.
I don't know. He might be. Um, it's in the sci-fi tinge drama. Ansel Elgort
Tinged.
plays two brothers living very separate lives inside the same body. Previously content to live life in shifts with one another, their delicate balance is ruined when they become emotionally involved with the same woman, played by Suki Waterhouse. Um,
Ben is glory.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I think I kind of view that like that. It's funny. It's got Patricia Clarkson as well. I like her.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
she's cool.
but looks okay. I mean, looks like a sci-fi drama, or whatever. So could be interesting. I don't know. This one stars Lauren Dean, Lori Herring, Johnny Messner, Judy Reyes, and Jonathan. I always say his name wrong. Scheich. I don't know. It's Schaeech. So I have no idea. Scheich, whatever. But it's a poker
Never
club.
heard of any of these
A
people.
poker club. Jonathan Sage, I've seen stuff. He's a TV guy, I think, mainly. But yeah,
Never heard of
the
it.
the poker club. It looks like an independent, poker movie. Um, and last, but definitely not least, it's kind of goes in the same vein of what Paul got before, which is a double feature of like old horror films. And this is Bluebeard and House on Haunted Hill. So
Hmm.
I've never seen Bluebeard.
That's
But
all right.
The House on Haunted Hill is a classic. You know,
I heard they just remade it.
I get. Oh God, don't, no, no, don't talk about that. That's
Yeah, with Will
mean.
Smith.
Oh, the director wishes he could get Will Smith. You know, and that's
Director wishes he could get anybody good.
yeah. All right, that's it. That's it for my
All
call.
right. My next 10 has more of the stinkier stuff. So there we go. First, we got a classic. This is one that I got solo because I have it in like every stinky movie collection that comes out in like multiple discs, but not by itself. And that is The Killer Shrews,
Love that film, and I have that version.
one of my favorites. The next one is by a director, Todd Slaughter, who's always directing crappy films. And this is one of his more obscure crappy film, and that is Horror Maniac,
Mm,
also known as The Greed of William Hart.
Hmm.
So a
like Todd
cheapie
Slaughter.
that's not even an hour long, crappy stinker. Next, we got one that I have no idea about, except I just know that it's going to be a stinker. It's just got that feel, and it's called Post Impact.
It's got a red box.
Got a red box, and I know nothing about it. Next one is one that I do know about, and it's got a really bad reputation, so I bought it because of that. You might know it, Mr. Ward, and it's called The Sucklings.
Yes, I own that. Yes, that is the an abortion clinic. A woman gets an abortion. They flush the abortion down the toilet. It lands in radiation and comes back to kill people at the abortion clinic.
It lands in radiation. Of course it does. It's like
It looks pretty cool.
it's like the trauma abortion clinic. It's funny.
Well, I'm surprised you know of it, John, considering you don't like these kind of,
It's pretty infamous.
Oh
you
no,
know.
no. Until recently, I mean, I that's all I collected. Most of my collection is that type of stuff. So,
Yeah, no.
and I got it on a bootleg. We're talking 30 years ago. I got it on VHS
Yeah,
before it
plus
became available.
movies like that back then, they actually took time and effort and made indie stuff. And nowadays it's like, I need a movie in 5 hours. Can you make me something? You know what I mean?
It's
Like
ridiculous.
and it's just crap. And I'm gonna admit I'm not I this is why Indie Film Cafe tends to do more of the older horror films, of
Mhm.
the indie variety, because a lot more of those were fun,
Yep.
and enjoyable. The ones that are made now, I feel like are just made for like zero money and don't put any effort into them, you know.
Speaking
I
of
would agree.
which, although this one's actually fun and I like it, Mr. Moody will recognize this, and it is I finally got a copy of Zombie Isle.
I own that.
I own a copy of it somewhere, because I'm in that.
And
I told somebody the other day that like I was in a zombie movie where I get my head, bashed, grabbed
Oh,
in and
that's funny because I watched it before I knew you. So I've seen you on the big screen or the little
the
TV
little
screen.
screen. Yeah, you
But but
saw
yeah,
me before
without
you
even
even knew
knowing
who
you.
I yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny because there's a guy that reviewed a Scary Story Slumber Party, right? And he reviewed it negatively, badly or whatever. And now I love it when I pop up in other movies that he has to also review. Because, I'm like, you're gonna see my face in other shit, dude. I don't give a
uh,
fuck how much you ate my stuff. you know. So anyway, continue.
The next one is one we've actually already covered on Indie Film Cafe, but it's been sitting in the backlog for so long, I finally got to it. And that is Dances with Werewolves, which is a stinker, but I love it. It's a fun
Uh,
stinker.
I
I was
don't
gonna
know
say
that.
we
I
we
like the
reviewed that a
title.
long time ago.
It was
You
fun.
know, yeah, it was a good movie.
Next is a classic stinker. It was actually put out by a major company, and that is The Howling 2.
Howling.
Love Howling 2. I own all the Howling movies. Love them. I
It's so
love
cheap and
Howling 2.
crappy.
It
What's
it
the
is it
Howling
is
with
so
half the
awful.
budget
It's
in
great.
Eastern Europe
So
It's
bad
one
it's
of those.
good.
in civil
It's one of
damage?
those. Well, it's Felipe Mora, and he also did The Return of Captain Invincible, which is an
Right.
Australian film. He's Australian with Alan Arkin and Christopher Lee, which is a musical, which is brilliant. And he also did Howling 3, which is awful.
Oh
But I love
God!
Howling 2. If it's one of those so bad movies that if somebody just goes, "You want to watch Howling 2?" I'd be like,
I
"Yes,
saw
yes,
this
I
in the
do."
theater. This was actually released in the theater.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Wow. Wow. I
Sean's
envy
jealous
you.
now.
I
Yeah.
am. I love
So
that film.
my last two movies are both werewolf-ish. So get ready for the third one, third werewolf movie in this group, and it is Werewolves of the Third Reich.
I
I've
know
heard of
of
that
it.
one. I'd
Yeah.
heard of it. Yeah, I've never seen it.
uh,
Yeah, I do love me a stinky werewolf movie. Like
oh God, yes,
those are the
God,
best.
yes.
Like what was that Gurr one that we watched?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that was
um uh
um,
I
gosh.
forgot. I can't remember the title of it. But there was one we did that was so bad, and then there was Miss Werewolf, and then there was, a ton of other werewolf movies that we did for
Lichen
Indie Film Cafe.
Colony.
Like in Colony, that was so bad. Oh my goodness. And it's funny because we actually know people who've worked with that director and everything on the next project that he did. But anyway.
Yep, 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 yep. Um, Next one is a movie from ITN, so you know it's going to be a stinker, and that is Black Nun.
Wow, that sounds
That's
really
racist.
yeah. Can you say that now? Jeez.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's like when you buy a house, Black Nun comes to visit. It's
Oh
like, what?
God.
Was she a real
What?
estate agent? What's going on?
That I would watch just on the cover alone.
I
What
know.
wait, was the like what is that like what was the one you made me watch? The What the Fuck Friday one? That was the Black Devil doll,
Oh yeah, Black
Oh,
Devil.
that thing.
I love that movie.
Oh
Marvelous.
God.
And the last one is one we are definitely doing on Indie Film Cafe. I can't wait to show it to you. It is so weird and goofy and bad and fun. And it is Candy Von Dude.
What?
Yeah,
It's
okay.
Alpha
It's a
Video.
weird, weird movie. This is oldies. This is an oldies movie, man. You can get it at oldies.com.
Oldies.com, yeah.
Yep, 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 yep,
We
yep.
we
Don't know
uh
that.
we love that. Like we did was it the Prophet, the Angels, whatever,
Oh, Angel's
the Descent?
Descent.
Oh my God, it was so bad. Oh man, we loved it. We had such a fun time. We watched it with Joe Turk, who's a very big Christian, and it was fun to even have a Christian bashing a Christian movie. Right? Like that's the best thing. Like but anyway, it was terrible.
But yeah, you could cover this in Indie Film Cafe, or you could cover it on What the Fuck Friday because it's weird and strange. But I can't wait to torture somebody with this film.
All right, well that was your last 10, right?
Yep.
All right. John Ward, you're up.
All right. So speaking of weird and something that has a lot of colors, I've been collecting superhero movies. I know Paul will hate this, but I did pick up Green Lantern.
Huh. That's a
So
pretty bad one.
I actually thought it was okay. I'm even a fan of the comic. All of these are from Goodwill. Jonathan, you gave me the idea when you said, "Are you ready for Sunday?" And I'm like, "I'm 10 short." So and then you said you were going to go out and buy some, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to hit Goodwill," and so I bought 10, and then I went yesterday and bought 10. And so I'm for next month, so I just need to buy 10 more like at a different one.
Yeah, you said
So
you were
all
10
of
short.
these
I said
are
I was 20 short. So I went like literally the other day I went to what is it, the library, the public library. And I was like, they always have movies, and stuff. Let me see what they got.
I've still got about 40 or 50 DVDs in my stack here.
Yeah, I've gotta go buy some more because I did that once. I remember there was a time where I had like a stack, like, I had 20, and I probably had 100 movies ready to go, you
Uh,
know, and I don't right now.
I
So,
just didn't like them. I would still have like stacks of Dollar Tree, but it's like I can't have these movies just sitting there. They have to be filed. It annoyed the shit out of me. So I would probably sub Dollar Tree movies, but I
yeah,
put them
I got a
away.
giant stack of DVDs and I got 30 Blu-rays. So I'm ready for the next 6 months.
There
hmm
you go. And this is directed by Martin Campbell, who we just talked about. So there we go.
nice.
And then the next one here is this was on, it's called Caravan of Garbage. It's on YouTube, but it's Mr. Sunday Movies. It's like two Australian guys, and I love the show. They put up new videos every Thursday. And they did three Russell Crowe movies. And this was one of them, and what they showed looked amazing. So I picked it up, and that is Master and Commander.
Oh, great film. Great, great,
Yeah,
great, great
it
film.
looked amazing.
I want
Oh
to get
yeah,
So
that on Blu-ray. Like, I feel like that's a movie that needs to be on a better.
that's
absolutely.
I wanted it on Blu-ray, but then I saw it at Goodwill, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna grab it here. I mean,
And
and it's Peter Weir, and you
the
guys like
shame of it
Gallipoli.
is that they kept saying they were going to do a second one because it was so successful, but it just cost so much because they shot that on a real boat. And yeah, we've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and unfortunately, it's too late now, unless they cast somebody else.
Yeah, yeah. So that I'm looking forward to watching.
Who's the
Hold
who's the lead of
fast,
that? Who's the lead of that?
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
But so are you saying just he'd be too old to play that again, or
Yeah, compared to the way he looks now, unfortunately, he's
I was
he's
gonna
put
say because he's
on.
still alive, so he could
Oh yeah,
still come
but
back.
he's
I thought you were saying like somebody who died. I
no,
do love
no. But if
movies.
you,
This is like 20 years ago. This is
yeah,
2003.
I love movies about the sea. So
You know, it's funny you say that because I love movies about seamen also. I love seamen in the ocean. I love seamen on boats. I love seamen in
you just
inside
love
boats.
semen.
I just love seamen wherever I could get seamen. If it's if it's a submarine, if it's a boat, I just love seamen,
Yeah, I've
and I'm
heard you
glad you
like
do.
to hang
I do
out
too.
at the docks and try to get as much semen as
A
you can.
semen is possible. I mean, it's just I mean, it's just great. Semen is, they're just awesome. I even thought of joining the Navy because I just wanted semen,
You could get all the
just be
semen
around
you
them.
want if you join the Navy.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So there
all
you
right, guys, come on.
go. My next one is somebody that Hollywood has forgiven, and I've always been a fan of, except for some little
Mel
issues. But I
Gibson.
did pick up Mel and Goldie in Bird on a Wire.
Has Hollywood really forgiven him? Because like
I
they,
don't
they
know.
they allow him to do these things. They did that one movie he did this year or whatever that
Yeah,
came out.
that's pretty much
Flight
forgiveness.
Risk or whatever, but he is not really,
He was up
you
for
know,
Academy Awards for Hacksaw Ridge, like
that's
Best
right.
Picture and
But
Best Director and
was
stuff.
that when he was canceled?
That was after. That was after he was forgiven.
Okay. All right.
So,
Um,
and this is the second phase of,
And I
no,
think
this is the
part of the
third
thing
phase of Mel
is,
Gibson.
I think it's part of the thing is he no longer gets loaded all the time.
yeah, just don't say anything nasty and people will not, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, when you're not loaded, you can control your tongue a little bit more.
yeah. Well, I
Well,
think it
when
wasn't.
Donald and I reviewed the Lethal Weapon movies for film discussion, oh my God, are they homophobic? He is awful in those movies.
Yeah,
Everything is about being gay.
yeah.
Donnie Glover falls on him and he actually uses like the F word. He says, "Get off of me, you F word." And it's just,
Danny Glover, right? Said
who did
Donnie.
I
Yeah,
say?
those
Donnie
movies have
Glover.
not aged
Donald Glover, yeah.
well.
Danny.
So yeah, Danny. Well, or Donald. I know him personally, so I call him Donald. Um, and then we have a whitewashing movie that got a lot of complaints when it came out, and that is Ghost in the Shell.
Oh yeah, I heard that's bad. And I love
So
Scarlett Johansson.
I like the director of this. Yeah, and she looks pretty great in it. So, but it's I've never seen the original anime. I don't know. So we'll see. I don't care about stuff like that, but I know the film is criticized for that. And here is a film that both of you guys should absolutely love. absolutely love, and I'm not being sarcastic. That is Steve McQueen in Bullet.
Oh
I
yeah,
own that,
yeah,
yeah, on
yeah.
Blu-ray.
Yeah,
It's good.
one of the great car chase movies, San Francisco. So, and then I just watched this the other night, 3 hours long. If you watch the extended cut, speaking of Russell Crowe, and that's American Gangster,
Oh
Ridley
yeah,
Scott.
American
it's a good
Gangster.
movie.
Yeah, quite good film. And
Denzel's really good in that.
this thing has an awesome cast in it. I mean, it's kind of like Goodfellas. Like everybody and their brother is in this thing. So that's really good. And I I needed one more movie to do the 10, so I picked this up. And then the second time I went to Goodwill, I found the original. I did watch this and I hated it, but maybe I'll watch it again. And that's the remake of Flatliners.
I didn't know
I,
they made a remake.
yeah, I didn't. I think I knew that, but didn't really.
The first one wasn't the greatest. It was kind of meh.
I like the first one.
And
Yeah,
and look, it stars Ellen Page.
Really?
Ellen Page.
not Elliot Page. Which
No, Ellen Page.
does it say Ellen or does it say Elliot
It
on it?
says Ellen. It says Ellen right there. So I'm allowed to say it. It's right there.
Yeah, he hasn't changed all of the DVDs over to say
Probably
that
the
yet.
new ones that come out, like if they re-release this,
Yeah, if they
we'll
released it
have
on
them.
like 4K or something, they would.
But that wouldn't make any sense because Elliot Page is supposed to be a man, Ellen Page is a woman. So if Ellen Page is a woman in this, but it says Elliot Page, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I
But
don't know.
but what about the Matrix people the Matrix
They
directors
should
too?
they should just change, if anything, just the Wachowskis. If they're going to do it, then
I
that's
think a lot of what they do is the Wachowskis or
well, yeah, because I think the newest Matrix is Lana, and that's the only one that just has one of them on it.
There's
yeah.
another Matrix.
Yeah, Resurrections
Oh dear.
came out a couple of years ago.
Can't they do something else?
No, because now they're making another one, but without them. They don't want to do it, so they got other people to do another Matrix. And speaking of Mel Gibson, this is a two-movie collection. Bruce Willis and Mel Gibson, Hostage and Ransom.
I liked Ransom. I didn't see
And
Hostage, but
Yeah.
and yeah, I have no idea who directed. Yeah, yeah, Hostage. But Ransom is Ron Howard. So
it's probably why Paul's like, meh.
Yeah, I don't particularly care for Ron Howard.
Ron Howard is it's like he's a good director and a good producer, but when you leave the theater, you can't remember one thing about the movie.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys where 2 seconds after the movie's done, you're like, what did we just watch? And speaking of Ron Howard, and Tom Hanks has been in the news recently,
Mm.
thanks to his SNL skit. So we have the Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons,
Yeah.
both directed by Ron Howard.
Yeah. Wouldn't go near him.
So
I like Angels and Demons movies, so I don't know. I like movies about angels and demons.
Yeah, no, these are conspiracy theory movies.
yeah, you don't like Jonathan Da Vinci or movies about codes?
What? I don't mind any of that stuff. So
Okay.
Back to semen jokes.
And now this kind of follows one that Paul had. And so I'm glad I included this. Unforgettable urban action at its best. Urban revenge.
Ooh, I've got that one. Yeah, it's got a whole bunch
15
of
movies, including
blaxploitation movies.
Mario Van Peebles.
Yeah.
Okay. So
what are the movies?
oh my God, this is why I bought it. This is so great. First of all, it says warning, some movies may contain explicit language, sex, violence, and nudity. That's a symbol
yeah.
right there. And there's Mario right there. Disc one, Black Godfather, 1974. Black Hooker, 1975. Velvet
Blaxploitation.
Smooth, 1976.
We can't call it black exploitation. Fred the Hammer Williamson told me I'm not allowed as a white person to say that or whatever.
I'm saying it anyway. I don't give a fuck.
Because he goes, do I call your movies white exploitation films? And I'm
You
like,
can. It wouldn't offend me at all.
yeah, it wouldn't have been me. But I was just like, good God, I didn't expect him to freak that much out. Considering, Tarantino calls it that. Like, why, He was friends with Tarantino, I thought. So,
Yeah, then he would
whatever.
probably die to be in one of his movies.
Oh, he was.
Um,
He was in From Dusk Till Dawn.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Okay. TNT Jackson, 1974. Super Soul Brother, 1978. Jive Turkey,
Is
1974.
Petey Wheatstraw in there too? The Devil's Son-in-Law?
I don't.
No, I guess
Is
not.
it? No, I don't think so. Candy Tangerine Man, 1975. Brotherhood of Death, 1976. So these are all like 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Children of the Night, Mario Van Peebles, 1985. Death of a Prophet, 1981 with Morgan Freeman. Then
Oh,
disc
nice.
three, Mr. Mean, 1977. That's Fred Williamson. Stigmata, 1972 with Philip Michael Thomas. Black Jesus, 1971 with Woody Strode. That one, yes. And Black Force, 1975, and Black Force 2, 2000.
Yeah.
So, warning, some of these movies may contain content appropriate for mature audiences and may not be suitable for children under 18 years of age.
Yeah, I saw that at uh was it Second and Charles, and I snapped it up.
Yeah, this is a good one. I don't like this though. I don't like that they stack them, but that's whatever.
Yeah, they do that in a couple of the ones I have, and I don't like it either. But
Yeah. But
because you can
that's all.
scratch those, like as
Yeah,
opposed to
very
like.
easily.
So that's it.
That's all of them. Yes,
Yeah,
I thought I would end on a bang.
There you go.
that's it.
End
That's
on
what,
a
like the
gangbang.
fireworks. That's like the fireworks where they just start shooting everything off at the end. Um. Anyway, that was great. That's a great haul for all of us. Different hauls for everybody. So I really appreciate everybody having something different. It's funny. One movie we don't remember. We usually sometimes hold them up because you know because one person might not have something that two people have, and
Didn't
and
happen this time.
we did not share the same ones. So that's awesome. So everybody, there will be a quick update that'll be up. I've already recorded it. Since Paul doesn't like doing them, and
I got nothing to say.
John,
I got nothing to update.
I guess in Forgotten Horror Classics, I mean, it's already pretty much and it's done. So after that, the only thing left would be is if we do more stuff with the videos, like if we end up going back to blue cheese or something, which we haven't done. I was thinking we are gonna go back to doing the Shark Attack Sunday, but it won't be till summer. But we might start recording them earlier to get them done and everything.
I might have some objection to doing that. So
Hmm. Well, all right. All right. So anyway, this is it.
Yep.
What happened to Paul? Let's
I
say,
don't
jeez,
know.
Paul became a cow. Ah.
My thing says it's unstable, so I
Oh well. Thankfully, that happened at the end. Jesus. You know. Um. We're keep losing Paul here. Oh my goodness. I am sorry that your thing has been unstable. You know. Um. But everybody else, join us next month where we'll do another haul video. Who knows what we'll get this time? If Paul, are you still around? Can you still hear us? Guess not. I don't know what happened. Um, hmm. Anyway, I guess we lost Paul at the end, but it's okay.
well,
John,
yeah, like
thank
I said,
you.
at least it's the end. You're welcome. Thank you.
And everybody else, hope you guys enjoyed this time spent here talking about all the movies that we got. If you got some, let us know what you guys got this month and everything. And listen, we will be very happy to hear. So thank you guys for checking this out and join us next month for a brand new haul video.
Bye.
Bye.